If you've been dimming your truth, overthinking your words, or holding back your real, authentic voice inside of you, this message is for the part of you that is done playing small. It's for the part of you that is done holding back. And let this speak to the woman inside of you who knows that this is her time to rise. Why do you shrink yourself? The truth is, you were not born to tiptoe around your truth. You were not born to walk on eggshells around people. You came into this world to express yourself. Think of a child who's curious, unfiltered, says things how they are, isn't afraid to ask questions. But over time, we all learn to be conditioned to follow the rules, to stay safe, to be less. And we learn that to be accepted, we must contort ourselves to be palatable for others. And we learn this conditioning from caregivers who didn't know how to hold space, who didn't model to us how to process through our emotions. We've also learned this from environments that we were in where complacency was accepted, was expected, instead of the truth, right? And anytime maybe you brought up the truth or pointed it out, you were condemned, shunned, um, made to feel like there was something wrong with you for seeing the truth. And, everyone is following this invisible script of what happened, which isn't really what happened. So it's made you to think, oh my gosh, second guess yourself and doubt yourself. And we also learn this even from partners or family members who feel threatened by our voice, who feel threatened by the truth, because it shatters the disillusionment, the illusionment that they've been living, throughout their lives. Um, and this conditioning continues on with people throughout our lives who just can't meet us at our frequency, who can't meet the depth of where we're at, and won't tolerate anything above where they're at currently. And so this system has taught us to play small, to be unseen, to not speak the truth. And this is not a sign of weakness on your part. This is just a sign of survival. This is something that you've learned over time, your body has learned over time to stay safe. And it's built this belief within you that in order to be safe, in order to be accepted, in order to be loved, I need to stay small. I need to fit this mold. And the truth is, the protection where we're protecting ourselves and where we're fitting into this mold to be accepted, that ultimately becomes our prison. That is where we willingly sign over our power. And today we are deciding not to hand that power over anymore. We are deciding to take the wheel back. We are deciding to be conscious creators of our reality. We are deciding to be completely, radically responsible for the outcome and the outcomes that we've experienced in our life. And if you want to learn how to do that, continue watching. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is why did you learn to hide your voice? We're going to jump into a little bit more and think back to your childhood or just even throughout your young adulthood, even throughout life, even as an adult. We repeatedly hear these things, and if we're parents ourselves, we might even tell our own children this. Like stop crying, don't make a scene, you're too sensitive, just calm down. And so we have been built to learn and expect that. Expression, of ourselves emotionally, um, equals danger, equals unsafety, equals I'm going to get screamed at, right? So we learn to censor ourselves. We learn to perform. We learn to put on this mask. And that child within us has learned that silence equals love, that silence equals acceptance. And so we become quiet over time to earn that belonging, to not feel abandoned. And so the more and more we became agreeable over time, we think we're becoming safer. But what's really happening is we're losing our authenticity. We're losing our connection to ourselves. And throughout this process, our voice never truly leaves us. It's just after, years and years of doing this, um, your real voice might not be so loud anymore, right? Your real voice might just be a soft whisper, might just be a gentle nudge, and might still come out in other ways, like through your journaling, with your prayers, um, in when you're alone and it's just you by yourself, you might still be resonating that truth, and you always are resonating that truth. It's whether you're listening to it or not, that makes it more evident, right? So know that your authentic voice is still there, that true aspect of you is still there, and they will always be there. And you get to choose when they rise again. You do not have to continue living this way. You do not have to continue silencing yourself, holding yourself back on this leash around your neck, right? You have the choice to set yourself. And by the way, if you're new here, I'm Rosalie Dodana. I'm a soul alignment coach and founder of The Purifying Place, also a 6-2 mental projector in human design. And my natural gift is clarity, in seeing the unseen, in tuning into the energy in the environment, in people's energy, and helping, using this gift to help women, to help people return to their authentic truth and teach them how to guide themselves and take action from their inner guidance system, which ultimately builds self trust. So I help people release the self doubt, release all the blocks, release all the conditioning to step into their authentic truth and power, and allow that to lead them to create and manifest a life that they were meant to live here and now. And today, that's exactly what I'm going to help you do. So, the next thing we're going to talk about are signs that you are suppressing your voice. And so here are some signs that you might be suppressing your voice. You rehearse what you want to say, not and it's not because you're trying to be prepared. You are scared about what other people will think. You edit yourself mid-sentence, right? So you stop yourself from speaking your truth, and so you actively shrink yourself. um, that might look like you're sending a text message and then you stop and you like think, you reread it and think, oh my gosh, do I sound this? Am I this? Will they think that? And then so you go back and you read you redo the message. Um, or you might even do it when you're speaking. You start speaking and then you like stop, like look around to see, okay, are people liking this? Should I say something different? Right? So you are constantly contorting yourself to be accepted. You apologize for existing. You say sorry a lot. You're like, sorry, 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 I did this, sorry, I did that. Just for existing, you're apologizing. You absorb everyone else's needs first before your own. So you abandon your own desires, your own boundaries in order to keep the peace around you. You feel invisible even around the people that you love. And not because you're unseen, but because you aren't fully expressing yourself. So, how could you be seen? How could you be truly seen? You aren't allowing yourself to be authentically expressed, and so you don't feel seen. And again, these are not flaws in your character, these are not shortcomings of you. This is just, again, a learned behavior over time of survival, right? So these can be rewired and these can be undone, and you can learn how to move and behave in a different way, in a more empowering way, in a more authentic way. Um, so, which is what we're going to talk about next. When you reconnect with your soul voice, what happens, right? When you realign your voice with your soul, with your heart center, with your inner truth, you stop filtering your message. Your words become natural, and people can feel the resonance of that in your energetic field. There's no, when people lack that alignment, there might be some dissonance. There might be some, I hear what you're saying, but it's not really clicking, right? Whereas people who are fully aligned with how they have that harmony of mind, body, soul, and lived embodiment and wisdom. So when they speak, it comes naturally, it resonates, it inspires people, it incites, and it sparks energy in people. Another sign when you reconnect with your soul voice is, or another symptom of reconnecting with your soul voice is your relationships shift. If people start to feel your presence and you stop attracting people who need you to be small. And in fact, you repel them. When you start living in that fullness and that truth of who you are, people who are not living in that truth of who they are, they run. They are afraid of you. They don't want to, they're not an energetic match for you anymore. Their frequency, they will just literally disappear from your life, or there just won't be a match anymore, right? You'll feel it energetically. And so that's another sign, because some people might think, oh my gosh, I'm starting to speak up. I'm starting to have boundaries. I'm starting to live my authentic truth. And people that I love and care for are starting to fall away. I must be doing something wrong. And that is actually a clear sign that you're on the right path. Another sign is your manifestations accelerate, because again, your frequency becomes clearer because you are aligned. You become congruent. This makes you powerful, and your body feels safe, right? You feel relaxed, your heart is soft, your nervous system is relaxed, you feel open and calm and grounded. You become who you truly are. And there's a flow to that, right? No performing, no shape shifting, just your energetic truth that resonates. And you'll feel that in your body. You'll feel the difference. And you might even notice that your voice sounds different when you speak. For me, once I, you know, reclaimed my power, reclaimed my voice, I noticed that my voice just sounded different, right? Um, so next we're going to talk about embodiment and nervous system and the nervous system. So place your hand on your heart and take a slow, deep breath in and out. And just tune into your heart space, whatever that might feel like right now. Continue to breathe at your own pace, deeply, and exhale. And ask your heart space gently, where have I abandoned my voice? Tune in and receive the answer now. Where have I abandoned my voice? So you continue breathing deeply, feel your feet grounded on earth. Now ask, what truth is asking to be spoken through me? And listen to your intuition. Your intuition knows, your heart space knows. What truth is asking to be spoken through me? Feel that energy moving through your body, through your throat, through your heart space, through your solar plexus. Just slowing down and tuning in and allowing what wants to come through is the beginning of this reclamation of your voice, of your power, of your authentic truth. And so when you begin this, inner alchemy of your expression, you reclaim your voice. And in doing so, you must look through all the layers of yourself, right? So begin to look at where have you held back in your power? Where is your nervous system being activated? Is it when you speak up to your family members? Is it when you have to present something at work? Is it when you have to advocate for your child at a parent conference meeting? What signs is your nervous system sending you that this is activating for you? That is a sign that's a way of your body communicating to you that something doesn't feel good or doesn't feel right. And whenever we feel that, what is wanting to be expressed then? What is wanting to come through, right? What am I wanting to say, but I feel scared to say out loud, so I'm holding it back, right? And so, how do you then regulate your nervous system, right? And you can look and watch some of my other videos to see how to do that. Regulate that nervous system in the moment and ground yourself in this present moment and feel that safety, and then say what you want to say, right? Because then that alchemy of that um energy that comes up, allowing it to be regulating, allowing yourself to make a conscious choice of saying what you truly want to say, what's on your heart, that becomes your embodiment, right? You're beginning to integrate your new self who has this open throat, who has the self-expression. And you begin to rewire those beliefs that speaking your truth is unsafe. You train your nervous system, you train your mind that speaking your truth is not only safe, but um, feels empowering in your body, feels right, is the natural thing to do for you. And another thing is, what you might also need to do is tune into the throat area, the throat chakra of yourself, and notice, are there any blocks there, right? Is there some heaviness there? Because those things need to be released, those things need to be cleared, those unspoken truths need to come out. And releasing all of those blocks, all that congestion will allow that energy to run more clearly, which will help facilitate your self-expression. And one of the most powerful things, I think, is the self-trust that you build. Your voice becomes magnetic when you trust yourself and when you trust your voice, when you trust you. This is where we expand because, when people speak, it's very clear. Um, it's very clear and almost like, or maybe it's just clear for me, but that you can tune into people's energy, right? For example, when I get on a call with a client, I can immediately tell by their voice and their resonance how they feel about themselves. Do they keep their voice low? Do they come and mumble over their words? Is their voice like it's hard to get out? Like if it sounds like their voice is strained, right? Those are all signs of a voice that's been contracted, a voice that's been dimmed, a voice that's been told to be quiet, right? Whereas, do you show up unapologetically as yourself? And there's different forms of expression too. It's not just your voice. How do you show up in your body? How do you show up with the clothes that you wear? How do you show up in just fully expressing who you are authentically throughout your life, right? And so, let all of this be a reminder to you that you are not designed to dim yourself or to shrink or to mute yourself because your voice is sacred and your truth is medicine for others who are seeking what you yourself have the ability to offer the world, right? With your own unique blueprint, with your own unique gifts, in your own unique way. And so, when you can live from that authentic place, that empowers you then to share those things, right? That creates your soul assignment, that creates this beautiful purpose here on earth. And every time you speak your authentic truth, you allow that to come through. You free yourself from the conditions of this world. And on top of that, you resonate this when you resonate, embody this authentic truth, you become magnetic for the people who are meant to find you, for the people who are meant to learn from you, for the people who are meant to buy from you, for the people who are meant to be your soul tribe, right? All the things for the people who are meant to learn and grow with you. And so if you can never reclaim the truth of who you are, reclaim um, and take the actions to express yourself authentically, you block yourself from these blessings. You block yourself from those opportunities. And, we can all say, well, there's a reason why, because this happened to me or that happened to me, or, all of this. But the truth is, we all have something to a certain extent. And it's not to shame you, it's not to belittle you, it's not to say that what you felt wasn't painful. It's to show you that despite that, and in fact, because of that, you have an empowered choice then to reclaim your power, reclaim your voice, choose the aligned path anyway. And from that abundance, give back to others who are also in need and lift up others and help raise the consciousness of this earth. And so, I feel like if this resonated with you, if this stirred something within you, trust that, right? Trust that because your soul recognizes things before your mind even can. And allow this to start that journey of reclaiming who you truly are and go deeper into this work because I know how it feels to dim your light, to hold back your truth, to keep your mouth closed when all you want to do is scream out. And in fact, growing up, I, chose to not speak a lot of the time. I became a selective mute because anytime I spoke, I wasn't seen, I was condemned, I was punished. You know, I just felt um, so unseen, so unloved, right? And so I chose to just not say anything because I knew that it would just and I would realize it's part of my gift now is that I activate things within people and I help pierce illusion to let truth come true. And obviously as a child, you don't know that. So you're wondering why are people not understanding me? Why are people so triggered by me? Why are people punishing me for just saying the truth? And I realized, my voice was I was taught to keep my voice so small for so long, and I realize now that I've returned and reclaimed who I am, that is my biggest strength and um my strongest skill for transformation with myself and with others, right? That old me who never talked, who couldn't even look people in the eye when they talked, who would fail classes in college because I couldn't speak and give presentations in front of the class, who, basically just didn't talk and was super anxious about talking. now is speaking on public platforms, on stages, writing a book, doing YouTube videos, working with clients in one-on-one and group settings, you know, being a teacher and now a spiritual life coach and energy healer. Like I would have never thought that this would be my life now. I would have never thought that I'd have the capability to speak to the masses this way. And so what I'm trying to say is if this is you, if you feel like your voice is lost, if you feel like how could I ever get in front of anybody and speak my truth, you have the decision to just start, to just start. And even if no one is listening, even if you feel like it's not resonating, just tune into what that authentic truth is for you and begin to share it. And who it resonates with, great. And who it doesn't, great, right? You know where to place your energy. And watch how just doing this one thing recalibrate your life, recalibrate you from the inside out. It'll change your relationships, right? It'll change your opportunities. It'll change your boundaries, what you accept and don't in your life. And this just all starts with a simple permission that we give ourselves, right? And it's not even about permission at that point. It's just removing all of the expectations and conditionings that block the flow of our true expression, which is our authentic, divine self expression. And not the self as in the egoic self, the divine, eternal self, and what that really wants to say, and what that really wants to move through us and our voice, and what we're really meant to share here on earth with the world, with the people who are meant to hear it from us. And so I encourage you today to speak that truth, even if it's softly. Just speak it bravely, courageously, truthfully, and allow your voice, your authentic voice, your authentic truth to guide you home, to guide you home to who you've always been and who you truly are on the inside. Not in a way to pressure yourself, not in a way to, push yourself and have this urgency, and just for the simple fact of being who you truly are in this present moment, right at this specific minute. Just focus on this 1 minute at a time in this present awareness. How can you show up more authentically as yourself? What would you say? What would you do? And do that. And do that minute by minute, even if it needs to be second by second. And allow that to build over time and watch this change your life inside out. So, again, if you watch this, I hope this helped you. Allow this video to be an activation for your voice to shine through, and allow that light to shine through, break through all of the conditioning, all of the self limiting beliefs that have told you to stay small, that have told you your voice is not good enough, that have told you you're not good enough, that have told you you can't speak your truth, because you can and you will. And allow your voice to lead you home, to lead you towards the light, and lead others to their light, lead others to their authentic truth. This is my wish for you today, and I'll see you all next time.